How's it going, everyone? Back here with another iOS 26 video, and today Apple just released iOS 26 Beta 4. So this is the 4th developer beta, and the first public beta should also be released very soon. I predict within probably the next day or so. So if you are interested in checking out iOS 26 and you're not a developer, you should be able to soon do that. Anyway, let's go ahead and get started. So there are a few changes with this particular beta version. So the most notable one is Apple kind of has tweaked the liquid glass interface yet again. So effectively what they have done now this time is have effectively brought back more of the liquid glass than there was in betas 2 and 3. Because in beta 1, it was all straight up liquid glass, very clear, very reflective, which I kind of personally liked. And then Apple kind of took that away in betas 2 and 3. So beta 4 kind of brings a little bit of that back in certain areas and in certain apps. So let's go ahead and take a look at that. So the first place you'll notice a bit of a difference is in the music app. So on the left side of the screen here, you can see the beta 3 version and how the controls react. And over here on the right, you can see the menu or the little controls down at the bottom, how they react to the surrounding or content beneath it. On beta 4, it does seem like it's a little bit more reflective and clear. However, it's not that huge of a difference. But it is definitely a little bit more clear looking. The next area that has been notably tweaked is the weather app. So if we go into weather, again on the left side of the screen in beta 3, on the bottom of the screen where all the controls are, you can see over there that it is basically non-see-through or non-translucent. So you can't see anything beneath the buttons and controls. However, now as you can see in beta 4, scrolling around, the buttons and controls seem to have a reflective kind of translucency to them. Again, very, very great. The last app that I noticed having a little bit of a change was the settings app, and specifically with the search bar down here at the bottom. As you can see in beta 3, the search bar again was basically not at all translucent, and you couldn't see pretty much anything behind it. However, now here in beta 4, you can tell that there's a little bit of additional translucency and reflectiveness to the search bar down there, and some of the icons definitely show through now, which is great. And these also carry over to dark mode as well. So if we see here, go into dark mode, the search bar is definitely has a bit of a glass look to it. Let's go back to weather in dark mode. It doesn't really affect that too much. Go back to music. You can see the controls basically have modified themselves to be more of a dark glass and is again just more see-through and clear compared to previous betas, which is super nice. Another thing here involving liquid glass interface is the notification center. Can't actually show it in this particular instance because I don't have any notifications currently present. However, if you do have a lot of notifications on your screen and you're scrolling through, you can see that the screen will actually dim to allow you to better read, or I guess have better readability, I should say, to your various notifications. And then as you scroll down back to the top of the screen, the wallpaper and the screen will brighten back up. So another thing that has been added, again, that I can't unfortunately show on this particular phone since this is an older iPhone, it's currently the iPhone SE, but there is now a new dynamic wallpaper section specifically for the iOS 26 wallpapers. And effectively what that does is it allows you to choose one of the default iOS 26 wallpapers, and it will dynamically change and or shift itself throughout the day to different colors. So just a nifty little thing there. We have had dynamic wallpapers in the past. However, this one is just basically specific to the iOS 26 wallpaper. Next up is involving the phone settings in the Settings app. So if we scroll down and try to find phone, there we go. Scroll down. And on the left side of the screen in beta 3, you can see that we just had a few options for screening unknown callers and call filtering. Now over here in beta 4, there's not a dedicated section for screen unknown callers, as it's called there. And you have 3 options now. It's called never, ask reason for calling, as well as silence. So you can just straight up silence an unknown call completely. Next, very slight change in the interface again, is the camera icon on the home screen. You can see it in the left side for beta 3, and on the right side here for beta 4. There is a very, very minor change in the lens within the app icon for the camera. And then going over here, there is a new splash screen for the camera app, as you can see right here. Basically what this is doing is it gives new users a quick rundown effectively on how to use the camera app and how it has been redesigned. So as it says, a streamlined design elevates photo and video modes. Simply swipe left or right to access additional modes. Tap the control button on the top to access various settings. So that's just giving you a quick rundown of that, so you can hit continue and go straight into the camera app, as you can see here. And basically what that is saying is you can slide your finger left or right to access the various controls. Because in iOS 26 at the bottom here, you can see all that is currently visible is video and photo modes, and all the rest are no longer visible by default. So again, you still have to swipe around left or right to get to the various other modes, and that is essentially what that splash screen was letting everybody know about. Next up is involving the Files app. So if we go to the Files app, go over here, and we have a file that we're wanting to view. You can now actually open with Preview Quick Look. So if you hold down on it, and we go to Open With, you now have at the very bottom of the menu, it says Preview with Quick Look. So if you click that, it will immediately give a quick preview of the file. And then what that does is when you tap on the file, it'll immediately open it and give you basically a quick look or preview of the file. So basically what this option is doing is preventing you from needing to go into the preview app to view a file within the Files app, which is basically how it's been done this entire time. But for whatever reason, Apple decided to add the preview app to the iPhone, and then any file you open in Files, it jumps you over to the preview app. So if I have, again, that option turned off, if I click here, you can see it jumps straight over to the preview app, which personally makes 0 sense because you see the exact same files as you do in the Files app. So it's literally just the exact same thing as the Files app, but it jumps you over into a completely different app to open it. I don't understand it, and that is why my personal preference will always be Preview with Quick Look turned on, because then you don't have to leave the Files app to view a particular file. So personally, that is a very stupid thing that Apple has done. I don't get it at all. I understand the reason behind Preview in itself, but to have you be basically forced out of Files and over to Preview just to open a photo or a document of some kind is just straight up ridiculous. So anyway, that's a little bit of a rant there. Moving on, the share icons within the share menus. So if we go in and try to share this particular file, down here, so on the left side, you can see beta 3, the icons are a little bit thinner and not as bold, but in beta 4, the buttons are definitely a little bit more bold in their little icons on the middle. So these last two things here are involving a couple of bugs, one being a bug fix and the other being a bug that is actually still present for some unknown reason. First one though, the Contacts app has been basically fixed in terms of the search field. So in previous betas, people have reported that the search down here at the bottom would not show up all the time and would effectively not be accessible, and you would not be able to search your contact list. However, in beta 4, that search field should always be present and always available to use. The other thing is a bug that is still available or present in this current beta and has been present since beta 1, and I don't know why Apple has not fixed it, but that involves the notification home screen icon glitch. So you can see straight away the home screen still frequently shows through the notification center, and then as you let go, they fly out of the way like crazy, and then if you open up again, the icons are basically nowhere until you let go, and then they fly back into view. So it is definitely not how this is supposed to work. So hopefully this gets fixed by the final version. So anyway, that is all that is new with iOS 26 Beta 4. One last thing that I'm going to add in here involves iOS 18. And Apple should be releasing iOS 18.6, hopefully within the next week or so, to the public release. And personally, I would say anyone that is currently debating on updating to iOS 26, I would highly suggest those of you contemplating that to update to the latest version of iOS 18 instead. Currently, it's going to be iOS 18.6 here soon. And pretty much stick with iOS 18 for now. Even when iOS 26 finally does release to the public this fall, I believe somewhere around September, it is still, in my opinion, highly recommended that everybody hold off. I would just say don't update to the new version just because it's out and you want to play with it. I would hold off at least for a month or two until Apple releases a couple of additional updates to fix some initial issues, because there will absolutely be some glitches and bugs by the final public release. Anyway, that is basically it for this video. I hope you guys have enjoyed. Make sure to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you guys in the next one.